My name is Daniel Dixon. I will be the representative speaking to you today about our future UAS program and its implementation into firefighter training schools. Now, the main objective of this video is to engage you, the community, and provide you with information in regards to our objectives of the program, the benefits to the community as well as the training school for our future first responders, and we will be discussing any legal, financial, as well as public safety and public privacy concerns. Now, the main goal of this video is to leave you without any question and without any doubt as to the usefulness and future benefits of this program. Now, after watching the video, if you would like to discuss or ask any questions of our staff, please do so, and we will address your concerns in a professional and timely manner. So, without further ado, let's discuss the main objectives of our UAS program. As a lot of you know, being a firefighter, police officer, or even an EMT, or for that matter, any public safety figure, it's a dangerous and it's a hazardous job that sometimes they don't get the appreciation or the tools and equipment they need. With this in mind, we want to remember that you, the community, are our main concern. So, we want to provide these future first responders with the best chances of survival, giving them better tools that will help increase the safety and efficiency in their jobs. Which, if in case that you haven't realized, that safety and efficiency will help aid you and hopefully help prevent you from facing a dangerous situation alone. Throughout this program, we will actually be providing Part 107 training. As a lot of you have probably heard in the news and media lately, a lot of drones are causing problems. Well, unfortunately, a lot of those hobbyists or drone enthusiasts are not following proper Part 107 rules and regulations as established by the FAA. So, we want to provide our future firefighters with the proper knowledge that will lead them to a proper pilot certificate. Now, that may not be enough. So, even though they have the knowledge base, we also want to provide them with hands-on experience and give them actual flight time. While a lot of people out there may see drones as a toy, don't take that to mind. These are not toys. These are tools, and they are aircraft and need to be treated as such. So, you wouldn't want us sending out anyone out there without knowing how to properly operate a vehicle. And in this case, we don't want to send any future firefighter or first responder out there without knowing how to properly operate a drone. And with this, we're hoping that these future first responders will be able to effectively and safely use them in the community for situations that may become very dangerous or dictate a far but close eye on a situation. Later in the video, we're going to discuss some more of the benefits of this and hopefully give you some answers to any future questions you might have as to their use. Alright, time for the best part. How does this benefit you, your friends, your family, and the community as a whole? Well, let's rewind a little bit. As we had mentioned, this whole UAS program is for future firefighters and first responders. And I don't know about you, but when my life is at risk, I want those first responders to be there as quick as possible and to have the best information they can get to save my life and as well as yours. So with this training program for the future firefighters, this will allow them to apply these drones to dangerous situations. And I don't mean just your normal average house fire. I mean the big scenarios, such as hurricanes, flooding, tornadoes, and earthquakes. Because unfortunately, in those type of scenarios, a lot of people can get trapped. They can get lost. Transportation isn't always an option. The people that are there to save you can't always get to you right away. Or, in bad scenarios, they don't know you're there because they can't see you. Well, with the thermal imaging applied to these drones, it allows these first responders to actually know where to look or have a better idea of whether you're there or not. And that'll increase the survival rate of those trapped, who are lost, or just unable to get help at the time. And that is the big picture there, is using it to save lives. Now, there are other scenarios where, let's say there's a large building fire. No one's per se in harm's way, but firefighters deploy the drone. Thermal imaging doesn't show them anyone there, but what it can do in that scenario is let them know where the hot spots are, where they need to apply that water to quickly put this fire out and keep it from spreading and endangering anyone else nearby. And that is a very critical part of firefighting, is knowing where the hot spots are or where the dangerous areas are to prevent it from causing further harm. That mitigation. Now, another aspect of this is this will allow firefighters to be able to make a risk assessment with an actual visual observation of an area. Now, these firefighters are brave guys. They'll run right into a burning building without a second thought. Now, I know some of you are laughing, be like, well, I don't know about how smart or brave that is, running into a burning building. But the fact is, they do it, as all public safety figures do, to help protect you, our community. And we want to give them that best chance of survival. And we want them to come back. And we also want them to come back for us. So, on to the next portion here. How does this benefit the firefighters in the training program? Well, again, let's rewind a little bit. As we mentioned, we're going to be doing some Part 107 training, as well as giving them actual hands-on experience in flight time. And this will include sensor operation for thermal imaging and such. Now, with this practical experience in hand and knowledge, they're going to be able to apply it quickly to the field. And as I provided with the previous scenarios, it allowed them to address them a lot quicker. And one scenario we didn't discuss are those such as experienced in California and sometimes in Florida, are large forest fires. Now, these forest fires can sometimes go for days. As those of you know from the news or even from California, who are from California know, these fires cause serious problems, and they can go for days and weeks. And these firefighters are throwing themselves at it constantly. Well, that exhaustion over time, it wears them down and it decreases their chance of survival. And it also can sometimes lead to death. And now this other practical application is allowing these drones to fly out there and give them information on the spot. And with this training included, it allowed them to draw from a much larger pool. And for those of you who don't know, Orlando, Florida actually has a bomb and arson squad. Now, unfortunately, it's specifically for arson and bomb, and I can't go into too many details due to the confidentiality of it, but they draw, unfortunately, from a limited pool of personnel. Well, that could be a big issue. So with this training, we're going to increase those type of pools and resources exponentially, and allowing them to draw from those that are available from these new first responders and freshly trained, and hopefully help ease off on the exhaustion of those that are already trying to perform these duties. Now, it's not a perfect system because, not everyone's cut out to be a pilot or a drone pilot in this case, but just knowing and having that initial sensor operation training can make it easier for those remote pilots, as it's called, and allow them a little bit of ease to focus on the flying while a sensor operator will actually be able to focus the camera on the situation at hand. All right, folks, we got to the good parts and the benefits here, but let's start tackling some serious issues. Let's address the concerns. As a representative here, I want to let you know, as a community, that your concerns are very real to us, and we want to address them and let you know that we're trying to think out every possible solution and follow every rule and guideline in regards to not only your safety, your concerns, as well as your privacy. Now, I'm going to be addressing here some of the financial obligations, as I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, well, okay, where's all this money going to? Where's it coming from? Because I don't want to pay more taxes. Well, thankfully, we have no intention at this time of raising taxes to help fund this. Now, through budgeting, as well as these wonderful federal grants, which I'll be discussing, the operation costs, maintaining it, and the equipment should be fully covered. And any difference? Well, that's going to be budgeted on our end without any concern to you. Now, as in regards to some of these lovely grants, now the federal grants that are out there, which we'll be pulling from, are the Urban Area Security Initiative. Now, this is for high threat, high density urban areas. And this is, now I'm going to use a scary word here, so bear with me, folks. This is for helping with issues regarding terrorism. Now, under this, and mind you, I'm not saying there's going to be any terrorism, but it's best to always plan and prepare and hope for the best. This grant will allow any program or organization money and financial needs to meet equipment and training to deal with any sort of terrorism-based threat. Fortunately, we can pull from that grant because our UAS program and our firefighters are one of those first responders that have to address and be able to be out there to help with the recovery and response to these situations. Another one of these programs is the Emergency Management Performance Grant. This will actually provide federal assistance and prepare any government or organization with dealing with hazards as authorized by the Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act. Now, fortunately, that provides a big grant, and that'll cover disasters from anything regarding FEMA to local community issues. So, with these two grants, as well as a couple others, this will provide us the needs financially to meet and maintain this program without having to drain or pull from our community. Now, hopefully, that'll let off a lot of stress for you all. And just as for record, we will be showing records addressing where specifically these grants and the financial means will be going to. And just a brief cover, this will be for training, the equipment, as well as any other applications such as for getting Part 107 certified and for maintaining the actual equipment, which will be discussed and available as public record. Now, my associates here will be going on to any other concerns related to the public. And again, thank you for your time.
Hello, everyone. To add on to what Daniel was saying, I'm sure many of you are wondering what law is influencing our program.
This program will be utilizing the Florida House Bill 1433. Under subsection 4, titled Exceptions, the bill states what is not prohibited with the use of a drone by law enforcement and other state entities. What we will be focusing on is paragraph H, which states certified fire department personnel can perform tasks within the scope and practice authorized under their certifications.
This, of course, is to reassure the public that no data or photo imagery of any sorts will be stored by the fire department. Also, it is very important to keep in mind that the Florida House Bill 1433 shall not take effect until July 1st of 2020.
Hello, my name is Seth Archie, and I will be speaking to you guys about the safety factors involving our UAS program here. Now, the first responders who will be flying the UAS aircraft will be trained to do so and possess a Part 107 certificate that is issued and monitored by the FAA. This certificate means that our responders will have the knowledge and training and ability to safely fly the UAS aircrafts during our operations and to avoid any undue hazards. They will be required to follow the department's SOPs, state regulations, as well as working with the community guidelines in order to maintain a high level of safety, transparency, and maintain a good working relationship with the communities they're working in. Our first responders will also be held accountable for improper use and damages that they cause in the off chance that they do cause an error and hit something or anything of that nature. They will be held responsible while they're taking part in flying the UAS operations, and as such will help further protect the communities as they fly in order to not make undue hazard to others and stay within the regulations set by the FAA, the state, and community guidelines. Thank you.
As a way to engage with you, our community, we want to invite you out to the fire department every Saturday in May and June to showcase our new firefighting technology. We will have fun demonstrations where you and your children can watch how we plan on using this new technology to train, to fight fires, search for missing people, and to discuss the dangers of civilian unmanned aircraft systems over forest fires. During these community outreach Saturdays, our UAS team will also be providing introductory lessons to becoming a safe, informed, and possibly Part 107 trained licensed pilot. We hope to see you there with your family.